Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host Tracy.
Hey y'all.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in your Zen mode, looking very gorgeous in your braids. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy,
Yes. Braids by Yana.
yeah, happy Black History Month because we celebrate it
Indeed.
no matter who is celebrating. We're always gonna celebrate it.
Always. It's Black History for
It's
me every day, but
right.
but we
It's the culture
definitely
now. It's the culture where we amp it up just a little bit more. In February, we get blackety black, black, black.
we pound our chests in February.
Love it. So, how was your week?
Not too bad. What you gonna do?
So, today is February 3rd. So, we're a little bit late in getting this out, but we want to give a little special shout out to my son who turns 30 today. My
Happy
youngest.
birthday.
30 today. How old does that make me now?
Wait, is that your baby?
My
That's turning
baby.
30? Happy
The
birthday.
last one to get into the 30s.
Okay.
Imagine when somebody goes into the. Anyway, let's not even talk about it. Let's not even talk about it. Again, still haven't dyed the hair yet. Um,
It looks good. I like the headband.
you gotta have something because I got my little struggle pony back here because it's about that big.
That's all right. You
Just
could
wet
catch it.
it
You
and
could you
put
could
it in
catch
the back.
something. So
Just wet it and put. It was one of those days, but yeah, it's been a crazy couple of days. It's been a crazy week. Just a lot of stuff has went down that we can kind of like recap on. But any good news?
good news. Like personally, we just celebrated my little great niece's second birthday with a cowgirl rodeo theme. Adorable.
Oh my God, I love
And the sign that they had up said, "This is not my first rodeo." How
that. Is
freaking cute is
so
that?
cute. That is. I got. You have to show pictures. Was she in a cowboy outfit?
She had the whole shebang on, boots, and then we had to dress on theme. So I had like the little bandana on my neck and the
Hmm.
whole denim get up with the boots, and my even my husband got in on it. He had the cowboy hat on,
Hmm.
the bandana. He had the huge belt buckle. Like we weren't playing around about our
Okay,
baby.
I
We
love
don't
it.
play about our baby girl.
I absolutely love, and that's your great niece, right?
Yes, my
Yeah.
nephew's daughter. And then we got to see all the other nieces and
Mhm.
nephews and the little babies and everything. So that was great. So we got to see everybody.
And then Beyonce, the Grammys last night.
Yes, yes, yes,
Don't play with
yes.
my girl. Don't play with her.
Beyonce, she got album of the year and
Album
she
of the
got
year.
best called country album.
And what is it? That is that like the first time a black woman has won Best Country Album?
I'm 100% sure it is.
I think so
I
too.
don't even need to Google that. I'm pretty sure.
And then to settle the beef between Kendrick and Drake,
As if it
Kendrick,
needed to be settled.
he walked away with what? Best Song of the Year with They're
Album
Not
of the
Like Us.
year. Well, I don't know. Song was it song
I
of the
think it
year?
was Song of the Year.
So I actually DVR'd it and I have to finish watching it.
Hmm.
But I caught some of the highlights. Of course, social media will spoil everything for you, which
Hmm.
is fine. But I'm gonna tell you the moment at the Grammys that what I've watched so far that literally I got so emotional. Like, and we were about to get on this recording because I was watching it before I got on, and I was like, I
Okay.
cannot cry and mess up my beat. When
Hmm.
Doechii won Best Rap Album,
Hmm.
I her speech. First of all, the fact that she won it. She's only the third woman, so it's
Hmm.
Lauryn Hill, Cardi B, and now Doechii.
Okay.
And her speech, her upliftment of Black women,
Hmm.
and encouraging us to be in the spaces even where people say we don't belong. And she brought her mother on. Like I was
Hmm.
like, "Ooh." I literally almost lost it.
I didn't see it. I did see that she had won, and I only just started listening to her like what, maybe a month ago. So,
Do you remember when we were in, I almost said LA, when we were in London
hmm.
and Chris was talking about Doechii, he brought her up and he thought it was a group of three. So, and I was like, no, it's just the one girl, but she did
Uh-huh.
this really amazing. She does a lot of really amazing visuals,
Mm-hmm.
and she's very like eclectic with her fashion and her
Mm-hmm.
style. She's just so out of the box. But she attributed her success to sobriety.
Oh.
And that was really like a very like
And
deep
how old
moment
is she?
too. She's very young. Her mother
Yeah.
looks like she's her older sister, first of all. Like her twin older sister,
Mm-hmm.
literally. So she can't be that old. I don't even know if she's 30 years old. She's probably much younger than that.
I just saw her picture of what she looked like today.
Gorgeous, stunning
Today.
young
Yeah, she's
woman.
a beautiful woman, but I like her rap style
Hmm.
from the songs that I have listened to. So I was just like, I'm not mad at her, but I'm gonna have to go back and listen to her speech because I know they have been playing it on social media all day, and I
It
just didn't have
touched
the
me.
time
It
to
really
listen.
touched me. Gail King was like, she had everyone on their feet. Gail King was clapping. Like
Really.
all the girlies were there for it. And I also heard and have not watched it yet that Cynthia Erivo laid it down on her vocals for whatever song she performed. So
Hmm.
I'm just gonna be skipping through. Like I ain't gonna lie, I fast forwarded through Sabrina Carpenter's part.
Hmm.
I I, I get it, espresso. Fast
Hmm.
forward. Let me get to the good stuff.
I saw that when Beyonce won, I could see Cynthia Erivo in the back just jumping up. I mean, like she was like,
Well,
"Sister,
she's only this tall, so she had to jump up to get in front of the
I
cameras.
heard that she was so tiny, but she has on. She always wears like huge heels,
Yeah,
very huge heels. But she was in the back, and she was, hooping and hollering for her girl. I was very happy to hear that she. I,
yeah.
I totally forgot about the Grammys, and then I'm always so disgusted with the Grammys. I wasn't necessarily gonna watch anyway, but I heard that for Black History Month, it was a very good Black Grammys.
Additionally,
Hmm.
they did a great job of looking like they give a shit about the LA fires, which I
Okay.
applaud them for.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that sometimes those efforts don't always land properly,
Yeah. Hmm.
but they dedicated some of their advertising time to small businesses who were impacted by the fire. So they gave a spotlight to these small businesses. It was like a martial arts company started by a black family, and a Latina woman who had a flower shop. All of them either they got burnt down or smoked out or whatever. And
Hmm.
then they gave them a celebrity ambassador to
Hmm.
get on the commercial with them to showcase their business. And there was a QR code, and you can donate to help support these business owners. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's good. That's very
Yeah,
good.
it
Yeah.
was dope. I loved it. And Trevor Noah, of course, he did an amazing job.
Oh, he
And
was the
he,
host.
yeah, of
Oh,
course, that's my other boo. He's one of my in what do you call it? My harem of if I ever got a hall pass, he's in that group.
he's in that group. I know I like him. But there's always going to be a comedian in there. Always going to be a comedian
Yeah,
in there because you
definitely.
want somebody that's going to make you laugh, and then when they're cute on top of it, that's double. That's double.
Yes,
Double the fun.
exactly. I like him.
Hmm. Well, that's good. I mean, so yeah, that is some great news. Yesterday, I went to a Langston Hughes community reading at
Mm,
RISD and did not know anything about it until I think I saw it like the night before, and I wasn't gonna go. And I was like, you know what? I want to bring my grandson because he needs to be exposed. So that he was mad. He did not want to go. Poetry, I get it. And it wasn't necessarily like very kid friendly, even though they had like some jazz and they had some really great readers. Like some people like put all the emotion, and you know how Langston Hughes, he's just very, his all of his poems have a nice beat and a melody to it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Especially if you know how to read him. So, but it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. And then Saturday, I saw the piano lesson in Boston at what is it, Hibernian Hall? The
Yeah.
Hibernian Hall. Let me tell you something. I came home and then I watched the movie after seeing the play. And the movie is good. It's on Netflix, so go check it
Mhm.
out because the Washingtons, the Denzel Washington, his two sons, who I can't think of their names off the top of my head, they John
John
and Malcolm.
Malcolm.
John and Malcolm. One directed it, Denzel produced it, and Malcolm starred in it. So that's like great. From Black
Yeah,
History Month, go watch it. But it's a great story. It's an August Wilson story. But the
yeah.
play is phenomenal. It was one of the best because with August Wilson, he always has like this very dramatic scene at the end that really just like, either has you jumping out your seat or just feeling horrible, and usually somebody's getting killed. But this
Dang.
one was a very heartwarming end, which I was surprised, even though it was dramatic. I don't know how long it's going to be there, but I hope it would be nice if it was till the end of February.
Let's
I would go and see it
let's
again.
do some research
Yeah, look
while
it up because
while we're
I don't
looking
have a
that up.
phone to look things up right now.
Let's see, Hibernian Hall. Yeah, so there was a lot going on. There's a lot that's starting to go on all
Mhm.
over. Like, there was actually Gerard Mayo's wife had her Galentine's
Oh
last
yeah.
Saturday night. I didn't have it in me to do two activities. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Like I had to hold it down for my baby
Went to
niece.
the hold down.
I went to the hold down, and when I tell you her mom did an amazing job, she actually was playing country music.
Great.
Like it was so thorough, and she did a whole, like, it was very cute.
But I
Let's
have
see.
really gotten back into country music.
Well,
And there are
thank you,
so
Beyonce.
thank you, Beyonce, because there are so many black country artists that you don't hear, and most of them I got from listening to Beyonce's album. But oh my God, they are fire.
Definitely, Raina's good. Shabuzi,
Tanner,
of
what's her
course.
name? Something Tanner. She's really good. I
Oh
love
yeah,
her.
she's very good too. Okay, let's see what they doing at Hibernian. Why is it taking me so long to look this up? Hibernian, you need to pay to like put yourself at the top of these
Oh,
searches on the Googles, because why is it taking me so long to find this information?
let me see.
Let's see. What else happened this weekend?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, what's coming up this weekend is the Providence TED Talk. So that's going to be happening at the Vets this
Mhm.
weekend on Saturday, the 8th at 12 p.m. Okay, August Wilson's The Piano Lesson. Official website. Da da da. So I guess they have dates through at least the 8th,
The
from what
eighth
I
of
can
this,
see.
yeah, so that's unfortunate because I definitely would have gone to see it again.
Weren't we just talking about this the other day? Like, you were like, aren't there any other playwrights besides August
I
Wilson?
know, but I
Black
absolutely love
playwrights?
this one.
Oh, actually, so yeah, there are more dates than that. It goes actually at least through the end of February, through February 23rd. I see tickets available on the official website through that date,
Okay, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go again.
February 23rd. And they have 2 p.m. shows and they have 7 p.m. shows, depending on which day you choose to go.
I went with the old lady Black Theater Club that I'm part of with my mom and her cousins, and we went to the 2 o'clock show.
Listen, I get it. I do get it. Um, there's something to a midday activity that is just becoming more and more appealing to me
Mhm,
as time goes on.
It was good. It was really excellent. The theater is very small and intimate, so you are like pretty much so right there on them. You think Trinity is small? No, this is a little bit smaller.
Yeah, Trinity's not. Do you think Trinity's
Yeah, I think
small?
Trinity is very small.
So growing up in
Remember
Boston and
when we
go
saw POTUS? We were right on the stage, basically.
so that yes, but to me it's small and intimate, but it's comfortable.
Oh yeah,
But
and so is Hyperion Hall. It's the same. It's very intimate.
I was just thinking about how tight it is at the Strand Theater. That's what when you say like small, that when I think
Mhm.
of like the actual theater, like a with two tiers and a balcony, like I feel like my knees are up in my chest when I go to the Strand
Oh
Theater.
God, I haven't been to the Strand, I promise you, since probably the 90s.
And I'm at the point in my life where I need to stretch my legs out. I'm sorry. Like I need leg room on the plane. I need leg room in the theater. And if I can't get that, I don't necessarily want it.
Well, you would have died at that Langston Hughes reading because it was in RISD's auditorium and it was tight.
So, you know what was that RISD here in Providence or where? And
RISD here in Providence.
that's where the when Fundafest did their grown folk storytelling, it was
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't too bad for me in there. You
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was tight, and I'm short.
no, it wasn't that. Well, maybe where I was sitting.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
don't know because I was closer to the front, but it wasn't too bad.
mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a nice theater. Both of them were nice theaters,
Yeah,
but I did like the how close you were, especially when the action really goes and takes place
the
because there's a part,
climax.
yeah, there's a part where he's like possessed by a ghost, and
Oh,
that is fire. That part
okay.
is fire, and I'm trying to think like the I don't know the name of the theater group, but that does the plays. I feel like they're part of like a Shakespearean theater group.
Mm,
They're
okay.
all phenomenal, and he was absolutely excellent. And I just want to go see it again. I just want to see it
Okay.
one
I
more
love that. If you go to something and you feel like you want to go see it again, that
time.
means it was bomb. It
It
had to be
was.
really
It
good.
was. And again, the movie is on Netflix, and it is good
Okay.
because they put in other elements that you really are not going to get in the play. So it's a more in-depth kind of story, but it does not beat the theatrical version at all. At
And
all.
that's I think that's that particular rendition of it because you might go see it in another city and it's not
Mhm.
going to hit like it did with this
It's
troupe. You know
true.
what I mean?
It's
So that
true.
hats off to that theater troupe for
It
putting it
was
on.
one of the women that we went through, one of my mother's friends, she had saw it on Broadway, and Samuel L. Jackson was in it. Now he's in the movie as well, but he also did the Broadway version as well. And she said that it was good, but she really did love. Of course, she's gonna go with the Broadway version because I mean, if I saw Samuel L. Jackson on stage, I'm like, no, he beat out everybody. It was great, but it was really good. It was really good.
Okay.
It was really good.
No,
So that
that
was the
sounds
highlight
amazing.
of my weekend.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good
So what else?
stuff.
What else is happening? So one of the things I did want to talk about is last week. Unfortunately, we did have the two plane crashes.
Yeah.
Very, very
Awful.
sad. Um, Trump, I will never call him the P word. Trump came out and he immediately went to, this happened because of DEI hires. And so I'm like, well, were the pilots black? What's going on? Because he has, and not just him, but him and Musk and the rest of the Republican Party has made DEI a black thing, a black face to it. Even though we are last on the totem pole to even benefit from it because it's white women, white male executives. I had no idea that they were
Hmm.
second. Latinos, um, Asians, veterans. Oh, and there's another group,
It's not just
disability.
race. Yeah, it's
Right,
disability. It's
it's so many
also
disabilities,
LGBTQ.
and LGBTQ is seventh, and then Black folks are eighth. So that's who has benefited from DEI, and people have put a race to it, and primarily a Black face to it, and then Latino face to it. So when he came out, I'm like, of course, very disturbed because he's making, in part of his speech, he's saying how these people are not trained. They're not, it takes a lot of brain work to be a pilot and all that. And it literally was no black people involved in this.
He wasn't pointing at black people though. He was pointing at what he thought was a trans pilot who
Right.
later showed proof of life that it wasn't even her.
But That's exactly what he was doing. And then there was a woman too, in the second plane crash that was unfortunate. But my thing is with him, and like with Elon Musk, and we all know that they're very racist and they have racist policies and they have very racist thoughts about black people. It's amazing to me how specifically black women live rent free in their head. They are really gunning for black women. I think even more so than men, but we'll definitely see. But one of the things that did come out of all of this last week too was the whole thing about Target's DEI
Yeah.
and how they're pulling back on their practices, and the black community being like, I think legitimately outraged at it, because after George Floyd, they were one of the first ones to step up and be like, we want to do so much to
Mm-hmm.
help black businesses, black owners, getting our stores and showcase them. I mean, they made like these pledges to spend like $2 billion with black businesses. I mean, they were very vocal. Very
Definitely.
vocal. And part of the reason why a lot of black women specifically held Target dear, because there was a strong representation for us. And then another thing is, I mean, and I did not know when they made this pledge for these black businesses that a lot of these contracts actually end in 2025. So they're saying that in 2025, at the end of this year, they will no longer be supporting a lot of these causes and these, black businesses. But just not just the black businesses, but they also made pledges to support $100 million to support black-led nonprofits and provide
Mm.
scholarships to students who are already attending, HBCUs. So they were doing a lot, and I think that's why people were so angry. And I know Al Sharpton and the NAACP was just like, okay, hold it for 1 second. Let's see what they're going to do, because they're creating this other initiative called belonging
Belonging. Yeah.
belonging at Bullseye. And it's not going to be necessarily based on race, but we all know that when it comes to any kind of representation, black people are usually left very far behind. And the initiatives that are made for specifically for black people to like at least be even, or be part of the count, were usually last. White women usually benefit way more than us. And I know, like, what's her name, what's
Yeah, I
Tabitha's
know who you mean.
she
Oh
does
God.
the shampoo, and she has like her spices and stuff, and she did a video about how it hurts those businesses, and was asking people to be strategic and just go into Target and buy maybe black owned products. And people really came at her hard. I mean, she's looking at her wallet,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't support
I have not been in Target since all of this kicked off. To be
me.
honest with you, I was starting to move away from shopping at Target
Mhm.
anyway, and I don't even know what caused that shift for
Mhm.
me. I think it was just me trying to be more financially responsible, because I know when I go up in Target, I'm about to spend a grip. But I do have a Target red card, and what I decided is I'm just paying that card off, and
Mhm.
I'm not going back up in there until they figure their shit out. I personally have gone specifically to Target because of those initiatives you
Mhm.
mentioned, because they had a really great relationship with like Carol's daughter, other black vendors, and they always did like a nice showcase for Black History Month. You
Especially
get
Black
like
History Month.
the dolls, the HBCU collaborations, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Target belonging. To me, at this
Mhm.
point, that's neither here nor there. What I will say is that I know these brands because of Target, a lot of them, and
Mhm.
I will try to go directly through them,
Mhm.
directly to market to the actual seller. And as long as I get reasonable service, I'm just going to try to do that. I'm going to try to go directly to those vendors. So like the Lip Bar, I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Yeah, I think
Mael,
that's
who
Melissa Butler. And she said she understood, but she has a website. I don't know if Tabitha has a website, but
I
I
don't know if
went
she does
directly,
either. Yeah.
yeah, I went directly to the Lip Bar on Saturday because actually my store, my Target in Smithfield, I have never seen her products.
And it's probably the clientele. They're probably
Hmm.
catering more to the clientele in that area. And you will find that the closer you get to an urban
Yep.
center, the
Because I did
more
see it at the
ur-
Target at South Bay in
yeah, urban
Boston,
products you're
but
gonna
I've
have.
never seen it here. So I actually went online and I got $50 worth of stuff and and I'll try and order from there. But and if there's other brands and I get wind of like, what their websites are, I'll try and do that. But I'm like you too. I think it's had like I'm more mad at Target than I am mad at McDonald's or Walmart. And the reason
Hmm.
why is they only did things during Black History Month. They didn't make a whole big initiative. They didn't make that part of their whole, storyline for their, for all of their stores.
Hmm.
Target did.
Yeah.
Target, made you say, well, this company not only believes that what happened with George Floyd was the most egregious thing that could possibly happen to a human being, but they're putting their money, behind that and saying, let us invest, let us help, cure the country and build blocks with these, black businesses that prospered from it. And so with them, like I said, I'm not as mad at the other companies as I am at Target. And that's why I'm not shopping at Target.
But boycotting can be so impactful. And maybe you think,
Hmm.
oh, my $50 or whatever is not good. Trust me, they want every single cent
Hmm.
that they can possibly get and anything. So companies want to grow year over year.
Hmm.
They don't even want to be where they were last year. Every company wants to grow 20% or more every single year. So
Hmm.
you just changing your shifting your spend from Target to the direct supplier impacts their bottom. Trust me, it impacts their bottom line. I don't go to Chick-fil-A. I don't
I
go to
haven't been
Taco
to
Bell.
Chick-fil-A ever.
I don't go to Wendy's anymore. There,
Wait, what
there's
happened to Wendy's? I don't go to Wendy's either, but what
so
happened?
supposedly their CEO is in support of Agent Orange.
Okay.
So there's a lot of them, but there are a lot of companies that are here for us and are supporters. So
Hmm.
Ulta is one of them. They're riding still with the DEI initiative. I want to say Macy's was on that list. There was a
Macy's is
list
on the list. Yeah.
of some companies that are still, definitely being supportive and still doing a DEI initiative. And more importantly for me is like, it's important for you to say it and for me to know it, but just do with the right thing. Like it's just what should be done. But a lot of things we're gonna have to pivot. So if Tabitha doesn't have a website, find a black developer, sis. Get you a website. I
Hmm.
mean, do what you have to do. It may cost you. You may lose a few dollars. You may be in a contract. So I understand not breaking a contract or something like that.
Well,
But
she's like she said she's not going to break her contract, but it's only to the end of the year anyway.
all
And
right, so
they
you got 11 months to get your shit
hmm.
together.
Hmm. So I'm totally not feeling that. But Amanda Seales said something too to me that, and sometimes being Amanda Seales, but I agree with. Sometimes there's a good percentage of people that are going to boycott, and then others are just not going to participate because they don't want to be inconvenienced in any type of way. And it's like not everybody is going to be part of your fight.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to find the lane that you want to fight in, and maybe sometimes it's not even fighting at all. But those of us who do choose to boycott, I believe what you say that they will have an impact. But then there are going to be some like I have to support Tabitha and at least go in and buy her stuff, even though Target still benefits to a point. So I don't want us as a people to argue over this.
Mm-hmm.
Argue over
But
this.
don't go bragging about it. Oh, hey, I'm going down to Chick-fil-A. Please don't tell me that, because I do. First of all, you don't need to go there. That's not a need.
Mm-hmm.
You may need to go to Target for some diapers, and I ain't mad at you if that's the closest place to you. I still go to Walmart, and they are literally the devil. But I'm just saying, like, don't brag about it. Keep it to yourself,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
at
mean,
least.
especially when you know that some of these companies have like really disgusting, guy like Hobby Lobby. You would never ever catch
I
me
wouldn't
at
set
a Hobby
foot.
Lobby.
Wouldn't set foot again. Not necessities. There's so many things that we can cut out.
Hmm.
And I don't know the ethos of Joanne or Michael's, but I will go there. I will drive past Hobby Lobby
Until you open your mouth and prove to me that you're a racist or let me
to
know,
go to one of
I
those.
will
And
go.
it's not easy because everything is tied to something.
Hmm.
If believe me, if profit is being made, somebody's dying for it
Hmm.
somewhere. And
Hmm.
it may not be us, but somebody's suffering at least. But what I would say is the other flip side of the coin is many people of color, especially Black people, work at these restaurants and stores. So
Sure.
by impacting their bottom line, you're also impacting the economic earnings of a lot of
Sure.
people who you inadvertently don't mean to harm. So there's a lot. It's multi-layered. It's not as simple as it is on the surface, but if you do boycott, you are sending a message to these companies like, hey, maybe they got to cut their advertising budget for the Super Bowl and they can't spend $1 billion on an ad. Now they
Hmm.
got to spend less money on an ad this year. Because that's, and it'd be interesting to see who shows up at the Super Bowl with advertisements about their diversity and inclusion, and who skips that opportunity, because that's a great opportunity to showcase how much you are down for diversity.
Yeah, I mean, in football is always has been like really sketch. They don't have like
Mm.
a big vocal, black supporter like NBA has LeBron, and then he's constantly always talking about like black issues, and then people get behind him, and then you have other basketball players, but football players absolutely not.
Well, even look at the
Not.
NBA. They'll have like they had a whole Martin Luther King set up on Martin Luther King Day. Like they really advocate for causes through the NBA. I really see a lot
Because
of
it's
that.
like 95% black men. And they don't, and they use that power, and they probably could use it 10 times more than what we
Jalen
think.
Brown he's doing a lot for
Mhm.
generational wealth. That's like
Mhm.
his pulpit that he's on right now,
I
which is
love him.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wish that football players, or at least there was a football player to lead, because what is football? Football is what, 80% black? Maybe
At
so.
least
At
it's
least
mostly us.
it's mostly,
And now that
you have the power.
they actually let us be QBs now, come on, kicking ass in that.
And
You know what I
they
mean?
I really hated that they fired that football coach after,
Gerard Mayo.
yeah, because we all said at the very beginning that it was going to be a tough season. We weren't expecting any
We're
big wins.
rebuilding. We are rebuilding, and I guarantee you, if he was a white man, they would have let him ride. They would have
At
let him
least a
rock
year.
another year,
Hmm.
another year. I don't even know this guy they just brought in. He may be amazing. He may be the next
Hmm.
Belichick. I think they knew what they were doing with Gerard Mayo in the first place, but I think most people I talk to agree that they could have let him have more time. And it saddens me that his wife, who was bringing so many great things to Boston, like,
Hmm.
as far as events and activities and things like that, and inclusion for women. Her Galentine's Day, like I said, she just had that on Saturday night. That goes away when she goes away.
Hmm. Hmm.
That goes to another city.
Yeah.
And we need things like that here.
We do. And it was, I mean, I hadn't gone, but you went last year and you raved about it. But I
It
just
was
felt like
amazing.
you can't you can't define a man's career on half of a season
But
when he has no stars.
my hope is that he can go do college, or he can go to another NFL
Hmm.
team or whatever. The Patriots is probably always going to have a white coach. That's just I'm thinking that's probably what they're whole thing is going to be. Or
Mm.
maybe someone who's coachable, who doesn't push back on them. Maybe behind the scenes, Mayo was letting them have it, telling them that they suck. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened with
Mhm.
that. But sports is a business. I mean, it's big business. Professional sports
And
are so.
truth be told, the owners and I don't know about the coaches, but the owners and the mentality of football, like their fans, is very racist in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things I want to to mention is calling out racists now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think for so long we have tried to give people benefit of the doubt. I had a conversation at work today that just pissed me off
Mm.
so bad because you can't pretend when you see people say racist things like, Trump or like Elon, who believes in and always promoting the theory that black people's brains are um not as big as white people's brains, that we don't have the intelligence, and it's like some so-called scientific study from like 1940. It's just racist.
I think it's
That's
older
his.
than that. That
Yeah.
study. I think it's from the slavery days.
Right. And his and then it came back again, like, so it's like every century they kind of tout it out, right? And so now they're bringing it back, and Elon Musk is a big, supporter of this belief, and that's why the face of DEI is a black face. Whether or not you see it or not, they kind of subliminally put it in your head that, it's because you're hiring these black people or whatever. But my thing is that he says it, he says these racist things, and you go, well, that's just your opinion that he's a racist. No, he's a racist. And you trying to say that, well, I never heard him say that. You're avoiding him. You're telling me that, first of all, the conversation started with, I was upset that here is Elon, who doesn't work for the government. It's not really a government, an elected government official, is
Mm-hmm.
out here firing people, getting people
Hmm.
fired, and saying that we need to get rid of like all this waste and all this fraud in government. Now, I'm saying to this person, you're telling me a person who is a felon and is a fraudster is in charge of getting rid of fraud, and you're okay with that? Well, the government does run off of like, a whole lot of fraud, and we need people who are fraudsters, known fraudsters, thieves, liars, manipulators. We see a sexual assaulter. Go ahead and say it. Say it. What? Because I might be missing something. What do you want to say? Oh,
What's up, girl? The
because
people
I'm
are trying
like,
to get
add
me.
to it. Add
The
to it.
people the people are trying to get to me. But so my whole thing is like, you're right. And now we got the bullying. Like it's the blatant bullying from me. Marjorie Taylor Greene really got in there and was talking about, you guys are gonna have hell to pay if you don't
Vote
green light Tulsi
all of his
Gabbard
policies.
and these other people that they're trying to,
Hmm.
that they're, trying to get in there. She told them they're going to have hell to pay, the other Republicans, if they didn't vote in
And
the
they said
right
it to
direction.
Democrats too, saying that for certain policies, and I have to read back, so I don't want to actually, pump my chest with this one, that if you disagree with some of his some of his picks or his policies, that you could be. I'm not going to say it because I don't know how true it is, but I need to look into it. But you're right. It's the bullying. The but I feel like on a more local level, when we have like a coworker, like if you're saying a racist thing, why can't I say now that it's racist? And I don't think that I should be the one to be able to give you the benefit of the doubt. I know racism. I am,
Mhm.
you know, I have to deal with that every single day. So why is a white man telling me what another white man who you say is a genius? You said he's probably the Edison of our time,
Of
who's
what?
created nothing.
Never created nothing. It never created anything. First of all, I literally do not talk politics at work because I will get fired. I don't
I
do it.
think this would be the
Let me tell
last
you,
day for me.
somebody brought up innocently, "Oh, did you hear how great that so and so sang at the inauguration?" Fuck out of here. Don't do don't do it, because now you're trying to bring that shit up
Hmm.
and I don't want to hear about it. I'm not going to talk about politics
And
with you.
Carrie Underwood is not a great singer, so
I
leave
don't
me with
talk
that
about it
BS.
with clients. I don't talk about it with my coworkers. My therapist tried to bring that shit up. And I was like, ma'am, if you're not willing to have this discussion the way I want to hear it, don't bring that shit up with me in therapy either.
Hmm. Oh no, I would definitely bring it up in therapy. I would
But she
definitely say
she
what I
she
want to say.
I think she had some clients who may have been falling apart behind it. And I
Hmm.
understand that because Pantsuit Nation needs a lot of back patting. Them girls are down bad right now. They're hurting in a bad kind of way.
But I feel like part of the reason why we are here is it's amazing to see how many people, one, are very ignorant of history and absolutely refuse to believe that it would repeat
Oh,
itself.
racism is racism. And especially a white man ought to be able to identify racism right off the bat. Y'all fucking invented that shit. So you
Hmm.
know what it is when you see it. And you
Hmm.
know what it is when you're doing the right thing and you're being a great ally. So you either it's only one or the other. There's
Hmm.
no middle ground. You either riding for us or you're not. And when
And
somebody
sometimes it's not even just us. You look, I looked at online all these Hispanic people crying over getting deported, and then saying stuff like he said he was only going to get rid of the criminals. And then you're going up to elementary schools to get the, no, he said he was deporting you, period. And he said, because you're rapists and because you're thieves,
Mhm.
he wasn't saying, oh, there are nice young women and men who are out here working. No, he said, we're getting rid
and
of
gang
you,
members, everyone's a gang member.
and he's the rapist. He's the
Hey,
rapist.
convicted.
Another thing I wanted to go into real quick is, okay, speaking of the racism, the local news with Johnston, with the mayor, calling eminent domain on a property that was supposed to build a new high school, and something else. A new high school and something else. Oh, stupid me. The new high school and a 240 resident complex for low income housing.
Mm.
So the money was supposed to. So he wants to build a big safety complex. Now nobody was talking about like this big safety Obviously, this is going to be huge because if you're going to build, it's right behind the high school in Johnston. And Johnston is problematic. Let's all agree at this point that they have some real Trump issues there. But obviously there are some good people there as well. But so anyway, he pulled this and they had a city council meeting, and there were people, it was freezing last week. There were people, lined up to get inside, but he put it in a small venue so that people could not come inside.
Mm.
So the city council voted 4-0 to have this safety complex and to X the 240 low income housing. So one of the guys is from the Johnson Planning Board. His name is Robert Pingori or something, and he said that part of the reason they didn't want to do that is because they didn't want another Chad Brown in in Johnston. Is that
They
racist
should
or no?
they should wish for a fucking Chad Brown. I live around the corner from Chad Brown, and when I tell you they are the most festive when it's the holidays, they got their little decor outside. They put when their kids can leave their toys outside overnight, come back, the toys are still there. Chad Brown is chill. I
Hmm.
live right around the corner from there. I drive through there every single day. I have never felt safer in any neighborhood in my life.
Hmm.
There's my neighbors at Chad Brown are great people. I know it used to be crazy, it used to be problematic. They did some
Hmm.
sweeps, and
Hmm.
I've been here for 6 years, never had a problem out of that area.
And
Never
I
had a
think too,
problem.
once you have that reputation, people are hard because I've gone through. I mean, my son when he was in high school, he had a friend that lived over there. I'm driving there, picking him up, dropping him off, picking him up, dropping him off, stayed over all the time. Never had an issue, and I feel that way with most projects. You know, because
So
most
let me tell you
people.
how you know Chad Brown is no longer problematic. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can put that notion to bed that it's a bad project or whatever.
Hmm.
There's a 24-hour Dunkin' Donuts literally adjacent to the Chad Brown projects. Do you think if it was a crime infested project
That's true.
that they would have a 24-hour Dunkin' Donuts? That place would be closed so quick from all the robberies.
Hmm. That's true. That's very true.
So ain't no way that
Hmm.
you're having problems like that and you put a 24-hour
Hmm.
Dunkin' Donuts right there because they would be getting robbed all the time. Like
And what is, people's perception of low income housing or affordable
that
housing
part.
is very,
Yeah.
very skewed. You automatically think that, again, anything that is considered low income, you automatically think, oh, it's going to be black and Hispanic people all up
And
through there. And that
you
is
should
not
wish
the
for
case.
that.
Go
You should wish for
But
that.
beyond that, go to places like, Newport and look at the amount of black people or Hispanic people in their low income housing. And it's very small because
And they definitely have a projects out there because
thank
I
you.
know a woman who worked for Newport Housing Authority.
Hmm.
Any housing authority. So if you go to a housing authority in a predominantly white community, it's going to be predominantly white. That's how that works.
Hmm.
That's how that works.
Exactly. And you have the option. You do the interviews. It's not like people just fill out an application and they show up with, and you have to give them a key. No, there are criterias, but it's always a very, low valued opinion of low income housing. And it's just affordable housing. It's
Hmm.
just so people don't have to spend like their whole life savings every single month
And
just to live.
isn't it true that affordable housing is not always the entire building? It's like 20% or less of the units
It
or
can be. That could be, it can depend on like the developer. Like the developer, if he wants to build like a high rise, oh, it doesn't mean that matters a high. If he wants to develop a thing and he wants to get special grants, then you start looking at numbers. Well, I'll give you 20% low income. Like, and remember where the Mandarin is? The Mandarin down in
Mandarin.
Boston,
Oh yeah.
and so they had low income housing in there,
Oh.
so they could afford grants. And at that time, I was working for Goldman Sachs, so I'm looking at the low income. So it's based on that building. None of those people had low income. But it just wasn't because Doc Rivers was living there at the time. It wasn't Doc Rivers' income,
Yeah.
but it wasn't low
The
income.
Mandarin Oriental. My God, I can't even imagine. But there's those loopholes for everything. But that's terrible when it's coming from a city official like that because you're sending a message that who's
Exactly.
welcome and who's not welcome.
Hmm. And so, what do you say? What is Johnston saying? And that's what I'm saying about we have to be very vocal now and calling people who they are.
Call a spade a
Just
spade.
for too many at times, it's like all that trying to smile and educate people who love their racism, who love their misogyny, who love their foot on your neck as they are just like taking money from your pockets. We have to realize that we have, and part of changing this system, if it is even going to be changed, but and part of just being stronger, we have to face these people head on. And so
Hmm.
my pledge for myself is I'm not going to let people get away with pretending like they don't know things,
Hmm.
pretending that you don't know what Elon Musk says and what he stands for, or pretending that you don't know what Donald Trump says and what he stands for. I'm not going to let people get away with that. Just don't talk to me. Just
Yeah.
don't talk to me. So I do implore people, especially after hearing about like what happened in Johnson, because they did allow one person to speak, and that one person was in favor of the housing complex.
Mm.
That one, it was like one woman, but they wouldn't allow anybody else in. So it didn't matter. They had already made up their mind. And this is why it's so important for you to know who your elected officials are.
And to
Go
vote
to
in
these
these.
these city council meetings, and then write letters to these people. Make them know your name, because we go in there and we vote because it's the president election or it's the
Yeah,
governor,
you got
and
to
we don't
do
pay
those,
any attention to those those
the
smaller
local.
seats, those assembly seats, and those city councilors, and they run ripshod over us. They do whatever the hell they want because we're not paying attention. And now we're living in the time where we have a felon for a president who has put the most incompetent people. Talk about DEI. These people are not qualified for any
Poster
of their
children for
jobs.
DEI. The poster children for DEI.
Exactly.
Some of them in education, higher ed is not for everybody.
Why
But if
is the
you want
woman who owns the WWF in charge of education? Tell me how she's qualified.
that part, it's like at least be intelligent, at least be able to form a cohesive sentence and know what you're doing and what you're dealing with. He's just putting his cronies in there, and it's
The
it's
people
it's
that are going to do what he tells them to do.
it's
And
really
he's
messed up.
firing all these people who have worked for the government for long. He sent out an email telling them that they could leave, and he would pay them for up until September.
And a lot of people are pushing back who work in the government saying, do
Hmm.
not leave your job.
Do not
Do
leave
not
your
leave your job. Stay put, because this is just a trick of
job.
his,
Hmm.
one of his many tricks. But he's in there
Like he want to fix
terrorizing
the
people.
frauding.
Telling you have to take your pronouns off your signature. So
Hmm.
they're already on a very hot campaign
Hmm.
for against anyone who's LGBTQ. Like it's hot, they're hot and heavy coming for these people right now.
Hmm.
They're taking away therapies, they're taking away medications that these people rely on. And it's sending such a bad message to our young people,
Hmm.
to our people who finally got the courage to come out and be themselves. Like in this next, I've been saying this, his first 100 days, he is going to go ape shit. That's his thing. Every day is something new and
Hmm.
crazier. The first 100 days is going to be absolutely insane.
Hmm. And I said that from the very beginning. A lot of people was like, "No, he's not gonna do whatever." He did it. He's doing it. But the Bruce Jenner, because I'm not calling him Caitlyn Jenner. Fuck him. Because I know you're supposed to respect people and what they decide to live, but does he respect other people who choose
No.
to be transgender? Not one damn bit. Sent out a big test. I'm so glad that we finally have a real president in office now. And then somebody said, he just said that you can't use the she pronoun. So no, I'm not calling Caitlyn Jenner anything other than Bruce anymore, because you know what he is? He's a white man using his white privilege. He
Mm-hmm.
can walk around in a dress, he can put on some makeup, he can look as bad as he does, but he gets the privilege of saying, you know what, I can still do whatever the hell I want to do because not only do I have money, but I have these people that I can just jump out of this dress anytime I want.
Somebody like that should just shut up. Like you can't,
They don't
you're
shut
not
up.
even helping your own people.
They don't
You,
care. There are so many people who are like lesbian and gays that champion. Well, we look at the people who look at the Latinos who voted for him. There are so
hmm
many people that convince themselves that this person and why they convince themselves that this person is a hero. I don't understand it. How are you Latino and look at this person who's saying, you know what, your mama gotta go? Who how are you gay or lesbian or trans and look at that person who tells you that you are an affront to God and
hmm
say, you know what, that's my hero. And that's people pretending they hear what they want to hear. No, hear the whole conversation.
all I have to say about this is hopefully the third time will be the charm, and I'm gonna leave that sentence right where I just laid
All
it.
that fake bullshit. Because you remember how he said when he was shot the second time, he was just like, it was because of DEI and none
Oh,
of,
with the FBI, because
yep, with the
the
FBI,
women weren't qualified.
DEI.
First of
And
all,
wait,
women
no,
are the
listen, DEI. But remember the guy from his detail that was helping him stand up, and he was all laughing and everything. Why is he now the head of the FBI? Because it was fake. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. That
catch
was
your
fake.
packs, catch your packs.
Because why would you even hire somebody that didn't even do a clean sweep of the area? When you just said that, it was their incompetent. He was in charge of everything. He was incompetent, but you hired him to be in charge of the FBI now? That doesn't make any sense to me. If I was
Right.
shot and then you were in charge, I would not
You
hire you
nobody that was well, I guess
unless
they
it was fake.
that part, that part. But yeah, I really, like I was saying, I try to find joy in the spaces I can find joy, and there's so much joy to be had out here. So I'm just trying to be outside. I'm trying to do everything I can to strengthen my community, strengthen my household, strengthen my, everyone, anything that I can do that's uplifting. I'm trying to really lean into those things. um and there's a lot that we're going to be dealing with, but we are resilient. I hate the fact that we got to keep being damn resilient and can't fucking rest. God
That's
damn,
that part.
I'm supposed to be in my soft era, and they fucking with me. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I don't like that. But there are ways to push back. You're pushing back in your way,
Hmm.
and everybody can find their
Find your
talent.
lane.
Yeah,
Find your
find their
lane.
lane for pushing back. Keep your kids educated, even if you got to teach them inside the
Please keep your
household.
kids educated.
And teach your kids how to advocate for themselves and how to
Hmm.
identify shit like this and speak up for themselves too.
And how not to, because our kids are taking it, but they're taking it from your kids, from those fucking racist kids, and you got to teach them, like you said, to stand up for and advocate for themselves. And then also, you need to come home and you need to let your parents know how your teachers speak to you,
Mm-hmm.
how they treat you in class, because we need to weed those out too. There's so much we need to pay attention to. But like always, and I think this is what makes them so mad, is the joy that we find. Is
Yep.
the joy. And
And
the fact
and
that they've never been able to break that joy.
and arming yourself for education. I'll give you an example. They're reconstructing the school across the street from my house,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is me saying, listen, I don't know what neighborhood you think you're in or who
Mm-hmm.
you think you're dealing with, but you got the right one today, but when I got time, okay? So they got the big construction things up. They're doing that. So I get this letter in my mailbox. We are offering a free home inspection of your home, internal and external,
Mm-hmm.
because they're doing construction across the street. Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just going to let somebody who says they're from an inspection place come into my home, look around my house, take pictures, do whatever. So You can run some eminent domain bullshit on me like they probably did over there. Because who's to say they don't want this side of the street for a project?
Yeah. So they
So
just
I
wrote you a letter and they're gonna
and
pay for an inspector.
it wasn't even the construction company. It was a third party.
Mm-hmm.
This alleged third party had a name. I googled it, couldn't even find that company like in a really strong Google search. It was like a LinkedIn profile. So that's a red flag for me right there.
Yeah.
Red flag number 2.
Mm-hmm.
You put your contact information is a Yahoo email address. Bro, you don't even have a business um
A
email,
Yahoo.
a Yahoo. First of all, who I still have a Yahoo because I have a bunch of emails in there that whatever. That's like my where I send my junk at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody with any self-respect has who's running a business has their own domain for email.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
and so I called City Hall, number one, and City Hall was like, "We don't know who this is." So that's number one. And I was like, I want to make sure this is not a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could very well be a scam. It was literally a letter in my mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I called the construction company
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Oh, yes, we're working with XYZ." Okay. So you're working with this
Still sound
person.
made up to me.
It sounds very made up. And so I let the construction company know, first of all, you're partnering with this group that is using a Yahoo email, a
Mm-hmm.
company that I can barely is barely coming up in a decent Google search. Why should I let them inside my house? Like that's crazy
Mm-hmm.
that I should let them in. So I wrote them a nice email and I
Mm-hmm.
CC'd the guy from the construction company who's the head of, and I said, these are my terms for you coming into my home.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be by appointment. Do not allow my tenant to let you onto my property. You must come through me. I
Mm-hmm.
gave them a whole bunch of and I read them for filth for not
Mm-hmm.
having their own business email. I was like, please.
Yeah.
But they think they're in the ghetto and that we're just come on in. No.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving him exactly 45 minutes to be inside my house, top to bottom. Whatever you don't get done, write that down on your paper.
But why
And
wouldn't the city be doing this though?
why wouldn't the city be doing it?
I
Because
wouldn't
now
let
I'm
them
like,
in.
right. I feel like you're in cahoots with the construction company and this is
Mm-hmm.
your friend.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That you're gonna obviously there's gonna be some money down the line.
Money's changing
Something is
hands.
happening.
Money's changing hands. So I'm glad I called down to City Hall and I gave them all the information as well.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the inspectors
Mm-hmm.
department at City Hall and they were like, we never heard of these people. So I'm
Yeah.
like, already it's shady.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I'm going to let them come in is because go ahead and take your pictures. Because if there's one crack in
Mm-hmm.
any wall in my house, if my foundation is jacked up, guess who I'm coming for? The
Mm-hmm.
construction company.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Ugh. I don't know about that. That's crazy.
But that's the kind of thing, it's like they discount us because they know the majority of people on the street are black, they're Asian, they're Latino, there's a sprinkling of Caucasians, but they pretty much have white flight in this neighborhood, so there are not that many of them here. But
Mm-hmm.
they think they're dealing with ignorant people. I'm like, you got the wrong one. That email I sent him, you would have thought that came from an attorney, honey.
That is hilarious. I don't blame.
Yeah.
I don't
But
blame.
anyway, hopefully the babies get a new school and they don't try to kick
I
me off my
know.
property.
I mean, the school and that property has been there for like decades, so
Yeah.
hopefully. But like you said, it sounds like they're made whatever they're doing underground. I don't know. That sounds. Did you ask the inspector general when you went to the city about like why would they need to inspect your walls and everything?
First of all, they were freaking clueless about it, which was pissing me off. The
Yeah.
fact that they don't know anything and they don't want to know anything at
Oh, so now they're
Providence City
being
Hall.
lazy.
They're super rude over there, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you. Anything I ever try to get done, it's a lot of red tape and people are rude as hell when you get them on the phone. So unless you're there in person, which they don't have the balls to talk shit to me in person,
Yeah.
they will talk shit to you on the phone.
On the phone. I know.
Yeah.
I have to. I have to actually because I was saying, we all should go to like our city council meetings and I haven't been to any of mine, But I do
Me
go
neither.
on the calendar and I look to see, when they're coming up. I have the list of who my representatives are from, North Providence. Definitely going to write them, but I'm also going to see how they're voting on
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how you vote if you are a Democrat, because a lot of times we vote these people in and they don't have any interest of ours in mind.
Yeah.
North Providence, I'm pretty sure that they definitely don't have my interests at play. But I want to know what's going on, more so in my town and in the state. So I need to pay attention. So I'm just imploring everybody, it might not be your thing, but grab a friend and, just investigate, especially if you want better in these next 4 years, because we don't know where we're going. People was crying about eggs 2 months ago, and now they're saying, well, it's just the price that we have to pay. Like it's not a big deal when they're now $10 a dozen at Market Basket. Stop
Mm.
playing with me. And I swear I went to Market Basket yesterday, and there were like so many Trump flags that were not there before the election. But now they want you to know, oh, I was hiding before, but now,
In Johnston.
yes,
Mm.
much more than when, because I take the same route all the time.
Yeah.
So I know there was always one house that was just decked out in Trump stuff, but now there are several houses on the way to Market Basket that have their flags out.
Mm.
What you were hiding before, but now you're feeling like, loud and proud. And
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
feeling loud and proud with the racism too.
Yep.
That's the thing that,
Yeah.
we need to, again, we have our joy and people don't like it. And, we move in all different spaces, but I'm enjoying more so my spaces with people who look like me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be drove away from other places that I might want to go. Not going to, no.
Yeah, I'm
My
gonna pop up
ancestors
wherever
built
I
this
want to
damn
pop up,
people.
but like you said, I'm definitely not here for the BS.
Mm-mm.
So don't try
Don't, don't, because don't.
it.
Don't. And as for like those 92% women, I understand black women needing to step back and race, but I'm telling you, I mean, step back and rest, but I'm telling you, when collectively we like, oh, we're done, it's going to be like a fucking lion roaring. It's going to be so loud because a lot of us are like, I just, whew, I woo. But there is going to be a point because it's just too
It's a
long.
rest. We're not going to sleep. Some of us
Mm-mm.
are some of them are just taking a beat. So here's the thing: while some of y'all rest, some of us work. While
Mm-hmm.
you work, we
Thank
might
you.
take a little rest.
But
We're
then
not
we're
going to
all
rest
gonna
at the
come
same
together
time. Yeah,
at
yeah.
one point, and it's gonna be awesome. And I can't wait for that moment.
It is going to be awesome. And honestly, I'm not feeling hopeless. I
No,
feel like there's a lot of great things that are going to come down the pipe, but we're going to deal with some crap. That's
we
just
are.
the reality
Well,
of
we
it.
see it. I mean, every day. Like I said, I feel like when especially Trump and Musk, they're the loudest voices, but they are specifically targeting black women.
But they're also poking some bears
Hmm.
that may turn on them. So more on that later
I
because
would love
we're
to
gonna
see
see a
it.
lot of that. Well, as soon as you cut off these people in rural America's food stamps, you gonna have a problem, bro. You go ahead.
When the eggs and the oranges and the avocados and all those things just start getting like outrageously priced because that tariff is coming. That tariff for no damn good reason is coming.
Listen, they're about to change my pipes out here
Hmm.
from all the lead
Did
to
you
regular.
call when
I
when
will drink
okay,
water. Yeah, I'm all set. I'm all set up. I will drink water.
when they coming to do you? Because I called to
I
check on mine. They was like spring. I'm like, you
Yeah, they
better have
gave like
that
a
money
timeline. They
in the
said
spring.
this could take till next year.
I said they
So
better have that money in the spring. That's all I'm caring about. And
right, because he cutting off the money from the feds, but he's backpedaled on like five things he tried to do already. So this is what I'm saying. He doesn't even have the balls to stick to some of the BS that he starts. So
no, he got some balls. He got some fucking balls. Some really shitty ones too.
well, I hope he sits on them.
Yeah.
Next time he sits down.
I hope so. Let's all pray for the same thing.
But this month we about to be focusing on Black history. We're gonna
Mhm.
interview some cool people.
Oh,
We're gonna do some fun activities. What were you gonna say?
before we go, like, okay, so I said I was gonna watch like a lot of black movies and stuff, especially ones that
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen. So there are
Okay.
a couple of things that series that I haven't seen. Let me see. That I'm recommending that you go and take a look at. Rap Shit. Remember?
Oh yes. Oh my
That
God.
was so good.
Love.
Only 2 seasons, they canceled it, but it was such a good series. So go
Yep.
and check that one out. So The Color Purple got a bad rap, in my
The
opinion.
new one.
The new one.
It was
You,
okay. I
I,
didn't. I didn't
I
mind
loved
it.
it. I actually watched it last
I love a musical. So
love.
anyone who
You know I don't.
complains
You know
about a
I don't.
musical, who doesn't love music? What like what? th-
I can deal with ugh. So I loved it. I was surprised I liked it as well.
Coleman Domingo,
He was so good. So good.
Fantasia. Come on, Taraji.
Yeah, Taraji was an excellent Shug. I'm like, I'd let people talk me into not watching that. And it was really, really good. I should have went to go see it in the movies.
It was incredible.
So another one is Paradise. It's on Hulu, and it's
Okay,
Sterling
I've seen
Brown.
that in my
It's
queue.
really good. It's only like 3 episodes out, but go and support the brother. And I watched today what Black Girls Play, the story of hand games.
Oh.
It was only, I think it's only like about 20 minutes. So those
Mhm.
are a couple of the black shows that I'm watching. What do you got? Anything? I know because I just threw that out there all over
I
the place.
love the Upshaws. Like to me, it is such a fun
It is.
family show. And Wanda Sykes,
Mm-hmm.
she just cracks me up. Mike Epps cracks me up.
It's a good
Like I
show.
really like that show, and I like they have a lot of cast members. There's
Mm.
a lot going on there,
Did you
but
see Chris in it? And 2 episodes?
I did see him in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I what was I watching the other day? And I was like, Chris should be on this. Abbott. I could see there was
Girl,
a role
I
that
know.
Eric Andre played. I'm like, Chris could have played this
Eric
better.
Andre, which one?
It was they were trying to replace Mr. Johnson, and they sent someone from the district
Yeah, that
to
was
try to take his job.
fun.
And not that I see Chris as a janitor, like
Hmm.
it's not even like
But it's
I
a
just
funny janitor. He likes
it
comedy.
was it was a funny role, so I could
Hmm.
just see him on Abbott. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Period. So Abbott Elementary, of
Of
course, because
course.
Abbott just gets better and better.
Does.
Quinta Brunson is a fucking genius. If you want to call someone a genius, call Quinta Brunson a genius. That woman is incredible, and
Hmm.
the cast is
Thank
dynamic.
you.
What else? Black shows that I've been
I like the
watching.
neighborhood too. It's not as great as Abbott, but it is funny. It's a
That's
very
Cedric the
lighthearted.
Entertainer, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I never watched it before. I just started like I think I started watching it when I had my surgery,
Uh-huh.
and I just was like looking for things to watch. I didn't finish it, but
Mm.
it was much better than I thought it would be, and I really love Tashina Arnold and Cedric in that. So I would
Darius
watch.
watched it with me because I've been watching it since it, premiered. So I tune in
Yeah.
every year, and he was cracking up. But oh, Found on NBC
No, I
with
haven't seen. Oh, was
what's
that
his name,
with the girl who
Shimola?
used to be on? Oh my gosh, I know who you're talking about. That's I haven't watched it, but yeah, she was in. Oh my gosh.
The
She was
one
in
who's
that show with William H. Macy,
shameless.
Shameless.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I loved her in
And
that.
she's really good in this, and I like a good cozy mystery, you know.
Yeah, I
Um,
did too.
and this one is she's looking for people who are like missing,
Yeah.
so that's why it's called Found. And then there's an under story to it as well, and it's really good. And it just came back for the second half of the season.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. I
But
mean,
I keep interrupting you.
there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot there. I mean, you can just go on Hulu. You can actually search by like Black stories on
Mhm.
Hulu, and there's some wonderful documentaries. I highly recommend the documentary on Andre Leon Talley.
Did you see the
Um,
documentary, the new one on Max with about Diddy?
No, I haven't watched any of those, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Uh,
Because what I found is a lot of documentaries, they bait you and they don't resolve anything. And I hate a documentary where there's no resolution and they just leave you, if anything, with more questions than
mhm.
answers. To
I
me, that is just
watched a
disrespectful.
little, but like with the thing with Diddy's and R. Kelly's and was it Weinstein? There were so many people that made those things happen that were
So many people
around.
that aided and abetted.
And so it's like you to me, you can't get on TV and say he's a horrible person. Well, you're a horrible
You
person.
you helped. You
You're a
helped.
horrible person too.
But speaking of great documentaries, the one on Shine, amazing.
Yeah, you
So
did say that.
the Shine, the rapper that was on Diddy's label, they kind of were trying to help make him replace Biggie Smalls because he had that voice. He was born in Belize, so shout out to my Belizeans because my dad's dad is from Belize,
Mm-hmm.
and he moved to the United States, but his father was like the prime minister himself of Belize, and but he was an illegitimate child.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like prodigal son type thing, prodigal father, whatever you want to call it. He had a whole other family, the dad.
Mm-hmm.
But when he did, start to get to know his son again, they built this relationship. He went through his trials with Diddy and literally trials and
Mm-hmm.
went to jail behind this fool, and then he now is prime minister of Belize, which is an incredible glow up, like
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen that one. I did see that. It's on
It
Hulu.
was really good, and
A
he's
lot of people said that was really good.
yeah, he seems like he's a man of the people, and he's really trying to help his people out. But I don't know if you're ready to end, but I will just end with one more thing that I'd like to say. If you're sick of this shit in America, the country of Mauritius is inviting anyone age 50 and older
Mm-hmm. Oh
from
yeah.
the US, the UK, South Africa. It's given they want white people, but I guess if you're black, you could sneak in there.
Uh-huh.
If you have income of $1,500 a month, or I think it's $18,000 in the bank, and you
Mm-hmm.
buy a property valued at $200,000 or more,
Mm-hmm.
you can retire in Mauritius.
A
And
lot
you
of these places are doing that
a
now.
lot of a lot of countries are inviting, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a 28-hour flight from here to Mauritius, so you
Oh
will not get
goddamn.
any uninvited guests.
Yeah, because no, I would not be coming. 28 hours. I'm staying for like a month.
Honestly, I'm considering that shit.
I would come and stay with you for about a month because that's a long ass flight.
It looks
Jeez.
lit over there. My main concern was healthcare, and they have
Yeah.
a whole site. The site has the real estate. It tells
Mhm.
you their healthcare. They like, we got this many hospitals, this many clinics. Like, it looks amazing over there, and it's apparently very diverse.
And I really don't think that I know we have it in our head that we have the best doctors here.
We don't.
We, d- we need to really stop thinking about that because we are dying in astronomical numbers compared to other people in other countries.
You know why?
Just for simple things. The food.
I'll tell you why. Because the doctors in this country, the great majority of them go to
Mhm.
4-year colleges and drink their way through college. And then they go, another whatever 2 years for medical. They're getting blasted the first 4 years. Just
Mhm.
just keep that in mind. That's the college culture of the United States. You go to college, get blasted, screw your way through the 4 years, go on and maybe get some other degrees.
Mhm.
But it's not serious like in other countries who take education extremely
Yeah, we
seriously.
do not take education seriously. We do
So
not. So
keep
that's
that in mind.
unfortunate. Well, with that, we will see you next week. And
Yes.
I'm gonna actually put this up like right away because I know it's Monday and we are like absolutely late. And I was supposed to say we were gonna be late, and my phone wasn't working, and blah 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 blah. But I'm gonna put it
It
up.
is Black History Month. We're allowed to be on CP time today. Bump that. We might be late next week.
Ooh, no, next week. Oh my God. Yeah, I got to think about that. All right. Until then, peace out. Keep safe. Keep safe.
And you know where to find us if you need us. We are online. We are on Instagram at Little State Big Voices. We are on Facebook at Little State Big Voices. We are on YouTube where you can watch full episodes and Spotify. We are not where Shahida.
We are not on fucking TikTok.
Boom.
And you know what? Honestly, all of these social media platforms are owned by the same people, and they're all disgusting too. But
They all suck.
we're
But
just gonna
until
leave it at
until we figure something out,
that.
this is the sacrifice that we're
I
making
need
for
some
y'all.
black millionaires, billionaires to do something. Come on,
Let's go.
come on.
Bob Johnson, this is your time.
He
You
is
could be
not.
doing
He's
you
not the
could do
one.
you
He's
could do
not the one.
better. You could do better, sir.
He's not the one. Anyway, until next time, have a great week.
Bye everyone.